So Mark, how can CodeRush help us when declaring events?
Well, there are a couple of things that we can do. We can use the EV template to create a new event where we just type in EV like that, then follow that with the template expansion key, the spacebar or the tab key.
Okay, yeah.
And it looks like this. We can specify the name of the delegate that we're going to use. If it's just a simple event handler, it looks like that. And then we can specify the event name. For example, we can say landed like that. So we're in an airplane class right now.
Sure.
And then once I've done that, I can hit the CodeRush key and I can choose create event trigger when I'm on that event. And then now I can select the location for where I want to put that event trigger. And there it is on landed. I've put it right there and there's the triggering code for it.
Nice. And I noticed that the content of that is particularly safe. It's checking whether landed in fact has a value or not before it tries to invoke. So again, CodeRush helping you out, making sure you don't call something that doesn't exist.
That's right. The actual triggering code may look different depending on what .NET version your project is using. So that's what that event trigger looks like.
Okay, that's great for the standard event handler, the literal on landed, in this case, just taking a sender and a blank event args. What if we want to do something a little bit more custom?
Well, there are two ways to do it. One is the old-fashioned way where we can come out here and we can hit the letter D for delegate, hit the space bar, and it'll give us a new delegate declaration. And we might call this the airplane event handler.
Sure.
And it might take in some airplane event args, for example.
Okay.
Right there. And I'll copy that to the clipboard. And we'll hit enter. And those don't exist yet, but we can create a new descendant of event args by typing in C for class and then EA for event args. And then now I can paste in what I copied to the clipboard. And then I can come in here and I can type in, let's just drop a marker here, come down here. I'm going to take the class airplane. I'm going to copy that to the clipboard by hitting Control C or Control Insert. Hit escape to jump back up to the marker. Type in V plus the slash to get a new instance of that airplane there. Give it a good name, whatever that's going to be. Now that I have this here, I can hit the CodeRush key and I can choose declare property with initializer. And what it'll do is it'll declare a property wherever I select it to be, and then it will initialize it. So now my airplane event args has a reference to an airplane that we pass in the constructor.
Very nice.
Right? And so that's how we've got this here. So now we've got this delegate airplane event handler. I can copy that to the clipboard and I can come down in my class and I can type in EV. We can paste in our airplane event handler and then select a good name for the event. We might call this our air-to-air refueling.
Okay.
And that's our event. So when that happens, we're hooked up to another plane. And in our trigger, we might pass in the other plane as part of the airplane event args. So that might be something that we do. So that's another way to do it. You can also do it the newer way, which is to follow that EV template with a dot and then another template type shortcut. So for example, I'm going to copy airplane to the clipboard and then I'll come down here and I'll type in EV dot and then the slash to get what's on the clipboard.
Okay.
And then I can get my event handler, which is equivalent to the line of code right below it, along with this delegate right up here.
Sure.
So it saves us some code using the generic event handler. And this works not only with the slash, but it works with any of the CodeRush template types. For example, if I want to create an event handler that takes an int, I just type in ev.i, like that. And if I want to create an event handler that takes a string, I type in ev.s, like that. And so there's my new event. Let's give this a better name. Call this passenger added, like that. And now I can just hit the CodeRush key, choose create event trigger, and we'll put the trigger right there. And you can see we've got a new method, protected virtual on passenger added. It's passing in this string right here. And now we can just give this a better name, like that. And we're done.
Fantastic. So we have declaring events using templates, declaring generic events, use of delegates, creation of event triggers, and all of these things working in pretty much sweet harmony, as it were, to get exactly the result you're after.
It's not bad, right? We wrote a lot of code with very few keystrokes. So that's the essence behind what CodeRush is all about.
Excellent stuff.